At 4, Governor Evers signed a bipartisan bill into law that requires Wisconsin schools to teach Asian American and Hmong American history. The governor signed the bill at an elementary school in Wausau. Current state law requires K through 12 schools to teach Black, Hispanic, and Native American histories. The goal of the new law is to promote greater awareness and understanding of Hmong and Asian American histories, cultures, and traditions.